Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. One thing that you need on a tractor that you may have on your pickup truck or your SUV or your car that is really handy is a backup camera. Now you can buy a cheap backup camera off the internet and you get what you pay for. But if you want one that works on a tractor in the kind of environment that cameras will be in on a tractor, you need to talk to these guys, and they specialize in agricultural cameras. And this is Ty with DakotaMicro, and it's a company. Tell us a little bit about it, Ty, first off. That's what you do, is agriculture.
Yep, it's what we do. We've been doing it for 21 years. We were the first ones to do it. A lot of people have came and tried to copy us and all that good stuff, but we're in a really small town in North Dakota. DakotaMicro kind of makes sense. We build cameras. We have a manufacturing place actually on a farm in North Dakota, and we sell camera systems all over the world.
Now, if some of my viewers wanted a backup camera, and full disclosure, I sell these on my website. This is how I support this YouTube channel. And we've got them on there. But if you're wanting a backup camera, how easy is it on a small tractor like we're standing in front of to put a camera on? Just lead us through it.
So simple. So you can get really crazy and install it, and as you know, people like to get really interesting in the way they install things, and we accommodate that. But as we'll show you today, it can be probably done in about 4 minutes. So it's very simple. We've got magnets for anything. If you've got metal on there, we've got different harnesses, we've got suction cups, we've got different mounts, you name it, we've got it, and we'll show you how easy it is to do.
All right, we're going to cut to some shots here of us putting a camera on this tractor behind us. And Ty, just lead us through what the process looks like and what we're doing.
Okay, you plug this in, and then there's a power source. So if you're going to go with an accessory plug, you can do that. You can also hardwire if you want to. Both of those wires are in the box. So today, for ease of installation, we're just going to use the accessory plug, and then you find the place wherever you would like to mount your camera. In this case, we've got a magnet underneath which has 99 foot-pounds. So, I mean, that thing, it's strong, like you'll find out here, but you can mount this camera anywhere on there where there's metal, or if you wanted to, you could hardwire it or hard mount it with some screws or bolts and put it in any direction. Now in this case, we've got a RazerCam, which is great. It's got 170 degrees field of view. This is about 1.25 inch thread. So this particular camera is fantastic because you can leave it on this mount if you want to, or if you want to drill a hole somewhere or whatever, you can use it that way. But you can mount this camera in any direction. So you can spin it. If we end up mounting it this way or this way, you can mount it almost any direction, even upside down. You just got to turn the camera, and there's a little arrow to tell you which direction it needs to go.
Okay, now 170 degrees. Tell us what does that look like?
Well, we're going to show you, but it's a wide angle. So that's what you're typically going to see, and most people are used to on the back of your pickup truck. That's kind of coming to the back, so you can see your hitch or a trailer or something like that. Obviously, it's great for safety because it's going to go down to the ground. So if for some reason, animals, livestock, small children, anything back there, you're going to see it. So it's a beautiful camera for this situation because we need to have a wide angle. And almost all of our harnesses have 4 inputs for cameras. Now in this case, we're only going to be putting 1 camera on, pretty small tractor. You could put up to 4 if you wanted to. And this is a switchcraft connection, which we use at DakotaMicro. And to our knowledge, nobody else uses it. We love it because it's completely waterproof. It's got gold-plated pins in here. We always recommend putting a little dielectric grease whenever you're putting these connections together. But you could run this thing as long as you want. Not that we're going to need to in this application, but we have various lengths. So we have 10, 20, there's a 30, 40, I mean, it goes all the way up, I think, to 80.
So we've got an accessory port on this tractor. So you're just going to plug that accessory port in, plug that into the monitor. That part is done.
Yep, and as soon as you see the monitor power up, there'll be some type of a light. There probably won't be anything on the screen. It might be blue because we don't have the camera hooked up to it. We're good to go. So before I run any of the wires anywhere on any piece of equipment, I always suggest plug in the extension cable, which is right here, and then plug in your camera. Make sure everything's working before you start getting very intricate with how you're going to run this wire throughout the equipment. So it's just a fail-safe. It's very rare there's something weird out of the box, but just in case, I always do that.
If you don't have a metal hood or a metal place on your hood, this is not possible. There's an option for a grab bar mount. There's a suction mount.
and then there's one that you bolt to the tractor, and they're all available on my website.
We do have a 7-inch monitor. It is weatherproof.
Completely weatherproof, waterproof. We call it waterproof.
So if you've got an open station tractor, or a tractor with no cab, this is the 7-inch monitor is what you want. If you've got a cab tractor, it opens up a whole bunch of options. You can get a 7 or 9-inch monitor that's not weatherproof, that will stay in the cab. You can get it up to 4 screens at one time, and you can actually get a DVR recorder, the way I remember.
Correct, yeah. Our 9-inch monitor does have that as an option.
This is what the end product looks like. And how long did that installation take, Ty?
Someone timing it? 3 minutes. Yep, we're good.
Now, one thing I want to mention, we've got this set up for a backup camera. If you wanted to put a camera on your front end loader somewhere, what would you recommend there?
You could add another RazerCam. It depends on the angle of view that you want. So if you want something that's really hardcore, that you can actually still add to this system, like I said, we've got 3 more inputs here. I would recommend an AgCam, which is what we actually make that camera in North Dakota. We did that 20 years ago. That's how the whole company started. It's the only camera that's made in America for agriculture, and it is almost bulletproof because it's going to have a lot of abuse up front. It also has a glass lens instead of a plastic lens, so it's going to not create and attract all that dust, which you get in a lot of these cameras out there. And if for some reason it does fall down because of all the intensive work going on in utility and you run over it, it's probably going to be okay. You might have to replace just the pigtail wire, which of course we have extras of those at the factory, but we've run over it with huge excavators and the camera just kept on working.
I kind of want to make people think about upselling themselves to the AgCam, because the AgCam is made in America. It's really bulletproof. You can repair it, and it has glass lenses. Now, the RazerCam's okay for a backup camera if you want to keep the cost down, but it's got a plastic lens. There's going to be a little more maintenance to it, I would assume, than the AgCam as far as keeping the lens clean and all that. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, you'll have to keep it clean a little bit more. It will attract a little bit more dust. But the beautiful thing about the RazerCam, which we like, is of course its versatility. It's so small, you can mount it anywhere, and it's thin, but also it's got that 170-degree field of view. And that's why we came up with this camera, because there's a huge need for that, seeing things behind. We started with a skid steer because that's a very problem child for people backing into fences or cars, or goodness forbid something, you know, of a more sensitive nature. But if you want something that's going to last forever, and when I went up to North Dakota to do some filming, we found a grain truck, and it had a really old system. I think it was 17 years old, and it was still working. I mean, I had to wipe off the screen. It was dirty, but the AgCam was still working, and yeah, no problems whatsoever. And those AgCams, as you were saying, you know, upgrading to it, we have now, so they have a 5-year warranty on the camera itself. Once again, if anything happens after 5 years, we can also repair it because we built it. So we have all the parts there in the manufacturer, but it also has a lifetime warranty on moisture and dust getting in the camera. We're so confident in that nothing's going to get in there, that we have a lifetime warranty.
And we can customize this. Once you have the monitor, like you said, you've got different inputs, so we can put more cameras with it later on if you want to, if you like that. And what about taking the monitor out, putting it in a truck, or putting it on my zero turn? Can you move it from machine to machine?
Sure, absolutely. So with this, as you see, this harness is so simple, right? And with you're just plugging it into an accessory, you could just unplug it and then plug it in there, depending on how the monitor is mounted. Some people, if they don't want to even change the wiring, what they'll do is they'll buy an extra harness, just this piece, because they want to save some money and use the equipment on different things. They'll just buy an extra harness so that they don't have to rewire it. It's hard, especially if it's hardwired, you don't want to move it. You have 2 harnesses, 2 different vehicles or pieces of equipment, and then you can just switch them on. I mean, all you're doing is pulling off the magnet, if you're strong enough. But yeah, you pull it off really quick, pull off the camera real quick, and you're done. Yeah. Or you buy another camera if it's hard mounted. So you have 2 cameras, 2 harnesses, and the monitor just switches back and forth. Real simple.
Sounds great. I can't think of too many things that would be beneficial for a person, even a person that's using a small tractor. If they're brush hogging or doing anything like that, backing up the implements, having a backup camera it's a time saver.
Absolutely.
Take a lot of stress out of your life.
Yep, absolutely. And I would say the best thing about DakotaMicro is our customer service. If you call us during business hours, a human will actually answer the phone pretty quickly. We have a whole sales team, they're fantastic, and if you have any problems, they'll answer it like you would have a conversation with just a friend. And that's something that, you know, separates us from all of our competition.
If you'd like to buy a backup camera for your tractor, just like what we're showing here today, go to my website, asktractormike.com. We got the whole selection there. Thanks for watching.